Hi there. It's Trustees Week this week, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about what you can do if you want to be a trustee. Trustees Week is really a time for us to be able to say thank you to the trustees, people who are already trustees, but also definitely to encourage new people to be trustees. And I think it's really important that a lot of people get confused about who trustees are, and they get confused about how they can help and how they can become a trustee. So in terms of who trustees are the people who provide the strategic direction of a charity. They provide the governance. So a charity has a governing document, normally a constitution, and the trustees make sure that the charity lives up to that. So for example, if it says in the constitution that the charity is there to support and empower younger people who have been unemployed for 6 months, that's exactly what the trustees should make sure that the charity does. Now, the constitution can change over time, but it's the trustees who make sure that the charity live up to that. So I'm going to give you 3 quick tips about things that you can do to become a trustee. And also, I hope that if you know someone else who should be a trustee, if you don't want to be yourself, or if you're already a trustee and want to tell other people about how good it is, please tell other people about Trustees Week, which is happening this week and goes on till Sunday the 8th. So if you want to find out more about Trustees Week, just look for the Trustees Week hashtag across social media. There's a lot of events taking place during the week, and there's a lot of people who have a lot of experience about trusteeship who will be able to help you find a role and understand more about what it's like. So to go through the 3 points, my first tip is simply to go to the Trustees Week website. Not only is it useful during Trustees Week itself, but actually it's a really useful repository of information about organisations that support trusteeship. So if you go on there, you can find organisations that tell you how to find trustee roles, as I'm helping you to do now. You can find organisations who will show you trustee roles. So if people are actually recruiting, they'll be recruiting on some of those websites. If you want to do your own Trustees Week event in the future, there's information on that and things that you can download, etc. The Trustees Week website is run by the Charity Commission. Basically, the Charity Commission coordinates Trustees Week. And then there's a group of us on a working group. I've been on the working group for several years that help to set the theme of the week, help to plan the week and publicise the week. And so we do as much as we can to publicise the week during the week itself. So the first thing is I look at the Trustees Week website. The Trustees Week website can be found at trusteesweek, or one word, .blogspot.com. That's trusteesweek, or one word, .blogspot.com. Okay, so that's my first tip. Please have a look there. My second tip is for you to have some clarity around the type of charity that you'd like to be a trustee for and what you can offer. So I quite often have people say to me that they'd like to be a trustee, but they don't say anything about what type of organisation they'd like to be a trustee for. So, for example, do you want to be a trustee of a large organisation or a small one? Do you want to be a trustee of a national charity or a local charity or an international charity? Do you want to be a trustee of an organisation that helps animals or an organisation that helps people, that helps old people or young people? What type of people does it support? What's the cause? Does it support people who are low incomes? Does it support people who have health needs that need to be supported? Whatever it is, you're probably going to have a passion that will be matched by a charity. But if you can have some thoughts about what type of charity you'd like to be a trustee for, that's going to make a big difference. Related to that, though, you need to think about your own skills and the difference that you think you might be able to make. So if, for example, you know that you have legal skills, or you know that you have financial skills, or you know that you have fundraising skills or communication skills, social media skills, marketing skills, whatever skill you might have, there's a good chance that a charity would be able to find it useful. But in order for them to decide whether they need you as a trustee on their board at that time, you need to think carefully about the skills that you have and how you could help make a contribution. You also need to go one step further. It's not just about the skills you have, but about the makeup of the board. So what I always say to people is that if you are able to, See who the other trustees who are already on the board of a charity that you'd like to join that board, and see whether you have skills that would complement that board. So, for example, if you're involved in marketing and you can see that none of the other trustees have marketing experience, that might be useful. That might be something that you could do. Or if you see that you have marketing experience and someone else has marketing experience, but you also have fundraising experience, then maybe it will be your secondary skill that will be helpful to them. So it's really important you think about that. Thanks very much for the kind comment. That's very nice. And thank you everybody who's watching this, and hopefully you can get something useful out of it. What I really think you need to do, as I say, is to get some clarity. And that means that when you speak to a charity that might have a board position, then you'll be able to actually do something in order to match your interest up with theirs. Because the thing about any volunteering position is it's not supposed to be a penance. It's supposed to be something that you enjoy and you get something out of. If you join a board where your interests are aligned, you're much more likely to be able to get something out of it. So that's really important. Okay, so the 2 tips so far: go to the Trustees Week website and think very carefully about the type of charity that you'd like to be a trustee for and the type of trustee that you'd like to be. And my final tip really is to essentially be bold. And what I mean by that is that there are many, many charities advertising trustee positions. And on the Trustees Week website, you'll find many of the places you can find those positions. But there's also many charities that, for a variety of reasons, don't advertise very widely. It might be because they just ask their friends, which is a bit of a shame. But it might be because, although they'd love to have some new trustees and they'd bite your hand off if you went to speak to them, actually they don't have a real desire to be recruiting for their board at the moment. For example, because they have pressing fundraising concerns or there's a campaign they're running. That means that there are lots of charities out there right now who have maybe 3 or 4 positions on their board that if you came along to them and said, "Oh, I'd love to join your organisation, perhaps we can have a chat about it," they'd be thrilled, really thrilled that you were interested in their work and be very likely to take you on in a board role. But actually, you're never going to hear about them because they're not advertising openly, or perhaps they don't know how to advertise. So I'd say that if you find a charity that you want to be a trustee for, narrowing it down using the tip that I gave you earlier, then you should really just get in touch with that charity. Talk to either the chair or the chief executive or one of the trustees if you happen to know one of the trustees on the board, and ask them if you can go for a cup of coffee or a pint, if that's what you'd like, and speak to them about what their organisation does and how you might be able to be involved. At the end of the day, if it goes badly, it doesn't really matter, in the sense that there's so many charities out there that would love you as a trustee. It's not that all your eggs are in one basket, but also it's as much about you liking their work as them liking you as an individual and liking what you have to offer. And it might be as simple as they love you as an individual and they think you're fantastic, but your skills don't quite match up to their vision going forward of the charity, and they're actually looking for someone with different types of skills. But if you can be bold and go out there and actually try to find an organisation yourself and reach out that hand of friendship, I think they'll be incredibly impressed. What they're likely to say, even if they don't have a position for you, is they're likely to say that they will keep you on the books for the future in case you're interested in the future. Or maybe they have a sister charity, or they know a charity down the road that they're going to be able to put you in touch with. So ultimately, just think of it as, if you ask a charity about being their trustee, it's a massive compliment to the charity. It's a massive compliment to them that you're interested in the work that they do. So those are my 3 tips for Trustees Week. As I say, please look out for the hashtag on social media, which is just Trustees Week, or one word. Hope you have a fantastic Trustees Week yourself, and thank you very much for watching this video.